Is Michelle from the Country Note, and I am blessed to be joined today with the Rissi Palmer. We're going to get right into it with some conversation and talking about some themes that I think that are really important to us. But I'd really like to first start off with asking you, Rissi, who is Rissi Palmer?
Right now, tired. No, no, first of all, thank you so much for having me, and I'm looking forward to speaking with you. Rissi Palmer is, I say this in my intro on social media, and I think, and I do this on my show as well. I'm a singer-songwriter, child of God, daughter, sister, friend, mother of two of the most beautiful human beings on the planet, and I'm not biased. Radio show host, maker of sandwiches, lover of shoes and Lenny Kravitz, and
Oh, girl.
and that is pretty much me in a nutshell.
I saw you posted something the other day about Lenny Kravitz, and it was on point. Understood. Understood.
I'm a
Um,
fan.
yeah. Yes. So I want to look back a little bit. And you've gone from someone who is fighting for a place in country music. This is really what sort of intrigued me about you, to someone who's helping shape its future. So when you look at where the genre is today, what gives you the most hope?
Um,
Do
I'm,
you have hope? Because sometimes, girl, I'm going to tell you, I wonder.
well, that's a great question, and I'm be honest, I'm carefully wording what I'm saying
Because we
because
have to. That's a
no,
whole nother
it's like,
conversation.
as far as like the industry is concerned, I don't care. Like there's nothing that can be done to me that hasn't already been done.
Mhm.
And so I'm not worried about that. It's more so I don't want to discourage someone from pursuing their dream if that is indeed their dream. So I'm
Yeah.
more so thinking of the artist than I am, I don't care about anything. I think in terms, okay, I'm going to answer your question in two parts.
Sure.
I think the hope lies in the artists themselves. I see a lot of really great music being made right now. I see a lot of people taking chances. I see a lot of people being extremely creative.
Mhm.
And it's really encouraging. It's really exciting. And I'm inspired by a lot of the things that end up in my inbox and, things that I just find on social media and that sort of thing. So like I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I love taking chances. I mean, because I'm an artist. And so it's fun to be like, oh, that's great. I wish I had thought of that.
Yeah.
Or, what a great concept. I never saw that this way or whatever. Um, the thing that is not giving me hope, well, the thing is like the industry is always the industry, no
Hmm.
matter what. And one thing that the country music industry is going to do, just like every other industry in this country, is going to follow trends. You
Hmm.
rarely see the music industry setting a trend. They only follow them.
Oh, that's an excellent point.
And so when it was hot for like in 2020, for example, when it was the good thing to be mindful of diversity, to be mindful
Oh,
of creating
yeah.
equitable spaces and that sort of thing, then it was trendy to platform us and to put us forward and to let us talk. And
Yeah.
oh my gosh, maybe we should have some performers on the show and like that sort of thing. And so, like, that was great. And it gave a lot of people visibility. I mean, I saw an increase in opportunity for sure.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the trend started skewing the other way, and we want our country music back, and we want traditional real country back,
Oh,
and like that sort of thing, then you see where we started to trend.
yeah.
And so, as someone who has not only performed the music, been in the business, and seen a lot of how the sausage is made, I'm also a student of history, and this is all cyclical.
Yes.
This happens like every 10 years.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, this is we're right on track to where country music always what it always does.
Yes,
And
this is
yeah.
yeah. I will liken it to, so my real job is very different but very similar. Working in DEI spaces and being in education and always
Mm.
having taught from a social justice
Oh, I'm
lens.
sure it's exactly the
It,
same. Yes.
girl,
Yeah.
yep. So I definitely see the cyclical, and you were right about 2020 and being very, in tune to what's right. So I see it changing, just like you said. In fact, I'll just share this with you. I was at a show a couple months ago, and so I'm a writer in this space. I'm a photographer in this space. I'm not a awesome photographer. I'm a pretty decent writer. I love writing. It's my thing. It's my jam. I was an English teacher for 17 years before I became an administrator.
It's
But
awesome.
gaining access myself, right? So
Hmm.
similarly, gaining access to artists to write and to cover, I'm overlooked often. And I'm not saying it's because of the way I look. It has a little bit to do with it, perhaps, but also fighting with social media right now,
Hmm.
because there could be someone who doesn't write and doesn't really cover stories, but they have a lot of followers, so they might be looked at before me. So there's that aspect of it too, just the whole lack of, I guess, access.
Yeah, yeah. I think and that's across the board, and that's actually something that isn't for everybody that's always like, why is it always about race? Like that's really not even a race thing. Like that's
Yeah,
just that's a class thing, So
it
again,
is
it's
definitely
funny. And it's all about like what is the capital. Like class doesn't always necessarily mean like money. Like there's also
right.
popularity is a form of capital, and that sort of thing. And so it's not always. I think people are under this mistaken idea that everything is meritocracy because it absolutely is not.
Exactly. So one of the things that I love about your platform, not just your music, but you've intentionally created a space for artists who haven't always felt seen or heard. And one of the things I listened to this morning, now he's blowing up right now, and I think he's represented by Big Loud. So that's like an obvious trajectory of like you're
Mm-hmm.
going somewhere, right? I was listening to your interview with Cassius Culpepper, one of my favorites. Um,
Great.
but so you create a space for artists who maybe haven't always been seen or heard in country music. So
Mm-hmm.
at what point did you realize that your purpose has become bigger than your own career?
Oh, wow. That's another great question. I
Well, I'm watching folks like you, and I'm so impressed with the like bringing people along, like really giving people
Mhm.
showcasing others and just helping them be seen. And I just love that. I love that for diversity. I love that for
Mhm.
inclusion. I love that for people in general, because there's so much room for all of it. There is room for all
Yeah.
of us.
No, one of my favorite quotes is Tracy Ellis Ross, there's enough sun for everybody. And I firmly believe that. I wish I could tell you like I knew in 2007 or I knew in 2000 when I, left college and started pursuing this career that I was going to that this was going to be my path and going to be my purpose, but I honestly think no, when I started this, it wasn't like I wasn't thinking like, oh yeah, and I'm gonna start a nonprofit and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do
Right.
that. It was more so I feel like I hate wrong information. I
Oh,
it
girl.
it like you talk about having a background as an English teacher. I am the grandchild of an English teacher and a
You
social
get it.
studies teacher. I am the daughter of a social studies teacher. And so like history, if I wasn't doing music, I would probably be a history professor because I am fascinated
Same.
by that sort of thing. And really I guess sociology because of why like there's historical
Hmm.
things and then there's the why behind them.
Yes.
And that always is intriguing to me. And so I was more so annoyed by the fact that nobody was telling the story correctly. Like they would pick bits and pieces of it to tell, and
That
then they
could be
would
truths.
right, could absolutely be truth, but it wasn't the full story.
Yep.
And I just got tired of everybody treating it like treating black people or people of color, period, in country music like it was this weird anomaly.
Oh,
And it was like the exception and not necessarily the rule. And it was just like, you don't realize how many of your favorite white artists were inspired by, taught by,
yeah.
mentored by people of color, and or given opportunities by people of color. And so
Yeah.
it was more so in the beginning something to kind of broaden the information, and because it was out there, because I'm not like a special oracle or anything. Like I have the same internet that everybody else has, and
Right.
so this was more so just about like, these are just things I know, these are in books, these are
Yeah.
in research. If you actually just go deeper than the first page of Google, you can find all of this. And
Yeah.
so it was more so just making the information readily available. And then once I started doing the interviews, I realized, number one, the things that I have been going to therapy for for so many years were happening to other people.
Oh,
This
yes.
was other people's experience. And so then, like in the middle of doing it is when I realized what it was.
Yeah.
Because the intention was something completely different. And then about probably by like the third interview, where we're both on the phone, like we're both on Zoom crying. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh God, it wasn't just me.
Oh,
And this isn't the first time. Okay, so like they said that to you too. Or that happened to you too in a different way with this person. Or I know that person and they said that to me too. So like then it was just like, oh my God. Okay, so we've never been able to address this, and we're all just trying to keep our heads down and trying to do
oh
the
boy.
job.
Yeah.
And we're all dealing with similar things. And so then I became fiercely protective of everyone that I was talking to, because I was just like, you've never had an opportunity to talk about this stuff. Like the one interview that I'm thinking of in particular was Darius Rucker.
Mm,
Darius and I knew each other because our singles came out around the same time. And of course, Darius was like wildly famous and successful
yeah.
already when he came over. And so I was just like, oh my God, it's great to meet you. And like we met on red carpets before or whatever, but nothing more than that. And
I,
he was always super pleasant and all of that. And so then once the show started gaining traction and getting attention and that sort of thing, he reached out to us
wow.
and was like, I want to be on the show. And we proceeded to talk for 2 hours.
Oh
And
my
I'll never
gosh.
forget this. This was the day before the election.
Oh,
The big, yeah. So we were talking about everything, and I had already made this playlist because I knew I wanted to be protest music and all that stuff. I
oh,
had no
I
idea.
love that you do that, by the way. The way
Oh
you
yeah,
vet
no, yeah.
is so
Um,
good.
I mean, there's all sorts of forms of resistance, right? So,
Yes.
I when I was talking to him, it was the first time he'd ever addressed race.
Wow.
And he said that. He was just like, I don't normally talk about this, but he talked about how it felt to feel like you're being rejected by your own community.
Mm,
Um, and he talked about like the resistance that he received from radio right when he first came, and a lot of the same radio programmers that wouldn't play me were not playing
yep.
him, and like that sort of thing. And it was like, it was revelatory, and it was the first time that international press had picked up the show because of the things that he said. And
Wow.
so I don't think that Darius, now mind you, Darius since then has been extremely outspoken, and I think that about the things that he's faced and that sort of thing. But I think, I would like to think that he felt safe
Oh yeah.
talking to me, and
Hmm.
because of our shared experiences and like and that sort of thing. And so there's power in that, in representation, and there's a responsibility in that representation as well. And so that was my long way of saying, yeah, I think the show is a safe space, and we try really hard. And like that interview with Cash is always, to me and my producer, came across as like very protected and very
Mm,
guarded. And so I was like, I want him to have fun, because I feel like there's
yeah.
a fun guy under there.
Oh
And
yeah.
I was like, and he's so young. And so I
He's
was
a
just like,
baby.
he's like, girl, I have a purse older than Cassius. And so I was like, um, when he walked into the studio, I was like, okay, how do you feel about JC Penney's family pictures? And he was like, what? And I was just like, just go with me. And so we took the pictures first. And then he was like,
Oh,
oh, you're a nut. And so then when he came in and we just started talking and we did the Southern man test, and I was just asking him all the, and like you saw his personality, he's
yeah.
funny. And
He
he's like
is.
but again, you have to feel safe. And so I feel like my first job with the show is I want you to feel safe with me. I'm
Yeah.
not going to try to exploit you. I'm not going to try to get a gotcha moment or anything
Hmm.
like that. I just want to talk real. Like we're having conversation.
Yeah.
So,
That's exactly what I do. I just want to get to know people. It's about relationships in
yeah.
life, business, work, whatever you want to call it. This is a passion project for me. So I do it just because I simply enjoy meeting people and I love talking about, there's things that I love to talk about. This is one of
Mhm.
them. So, when I think about Cassius and I think about Darius Rucker and I think about, I'm going to go there because I'm feeling safe right now. So I'm going
Yeah.
to go there because I'm going to bring up Beyonce,
Mhm.
right? So it's okay for Post Malone to be country.
Mhm.
Wasn't quite okay for Beyonce. I mean, I felt like, in certain circles, it was, a lot of backlash. And I struggled with that because I avoided it. I avoided talking about it. I think I did write one article about it on my own platform, but
Mhm.
um, I think we talk about representation and space and welcoming and like who belongs. I feel like everybody belongs if this is what you want to do.
100%. I think the Beyonce, okay, so the Beyonce conversation is an interesting conversation, okay, for a myriad of reasons.
Mhm.
And I have hesitated to have the exact conversation
Yeah.
because what I don't want, okay, Beyonce is brilliant. She is stunning. She is a once in a lifetime talent, kind of like Michael Jackson. Like you're
True.
not going to see that again, I don't think.
Right.
Not because people aren't talented, it's just like the mixture of things that came together to create a
Yeah.
world in which a Beyonce, a Michael Jackson, an Usher, a Madonna can exist doesn't exist anymore.
That's a
And
great
that's a
point.
story for another day. But um so like it's a complex conversation because on one hand, she is literally one of the most recognizable names in the entire like in the planet.
In the world. Yes.
Yeah. Like I don't know there are very few places where you can go where people won't at least know her name. I mean
Yes.
like on your phone if you start to type Beyonce, it will finish the sentence for you.
Yes.
So like um so like she's major. So the reception that Beyonce got from Nashville is interesting and it's twofold
Hmm.
because number one, she was able to do with 16 carriages something that white artists don't often get to do,
True.
which is go to number one in a week. That doesn't happen.
Right.
Like I need everybody that's listening to this conversation to know, I'm gonna tell you, back behind the scenes, it takes about 8 months to a year
Yeah.
for a song to go number one on country radio.
That's true.
Now, for example, Lainey Wilson, there was a song, and I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it was
Moonshine.
Watermelon Moonshine. Thank you. I couldn't think of the second half of it. Anyway, that song was currently the song that the record label was working at radio, and that was currently climbing charts. Beyonce and it had been on the charts for like 8 months, and it was steadily climbing. And
Hmm.
I think it was about to be number one, and then 16 Carriages dropped at in the commercial, the Super Bowl, and it dropped and all that,
Yeah.
and she surpassed her. And the other thing that she did that was unprecedented is that they didn't even service it to country radio.
I
That song
know.
was not originally serviced to country radio. It was serviced like so the song drops on Sunday, it was not serviced until Wednesday.
Wow.
And this is in articles and stuff. So like I this isn't
Yeah.
like privy information that I have. This is from Billboard. And so it wasn't like the metadata, nothing. None of it was indicated for a country. So for a
Right.
country to make that quick of a shift shows you, number one, that it can be done
True.
if you wanna.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you feel so moved, you can. And so none of the things that any of us were told before that you have to do to get on country radio are true if they want to do it.
Yeah.
And so they immediately did it. The song went number one, and multiple songs after that charted because of the album, because it's dropping that once the
Oh,
album
yeah.
was dropped. And it changed a lot of people's trajectory and put a lot of people on the map and that sort of thing. And so it was good, positive in that way. But then what Nashville did after that was really interesting, was like, we're not going to nominate it for anything. We're
Mm,
not going to invite you to perform it. We're not going to really acknowledge that it's happening. What I
yeah.
felt like Nashville did was they just stepped back and let it happen.
Yeah. That's what it looks like.
And then when it petered out, then everybody was like, okay, cool, we done? All right, great. Let's. And so that's
Mm,
what happened. And that's interesting to me. And
yeah.
it's endlessly fascinating to me. And like, there are things that happen behind the scenes that probably no one will ever
Oh, I'm
really
sure.
talk about. Maybe like in 50 years or like 100 years or something like that. But like, there are things that have been told to me anecdotally that were interesting. And so I think the public's perception of what happened is maybe
Skewed.
not exactly the way it happened.
Yeah.
But getting back to what you said about Post Malone, 100%. It's cool for Post Malone. It's fine for Jelly Roll. It's fine for everybody else that has ever come. Morgan Wallen can have Drake on a song. Morgan Wallen can have Lil Wayne on a song.
Morgan Wallen could do
Um,
anything,
yeah,
clearly.
Russell Dickerson, was it Rucker? One of them had Fetty Wap on a
Yes,
song and is
Russell.
like actively out here performing Fetty Wap.
Yes. Yes.
And it's fine. It's fine. That's not a big deal. But, let the chicks bring Beyonce out on stage, or perform, or have Rihanna perform a country song.
Yeah.
California King is a country song.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then it's a problem. So
You're
yeah.
picking up what I was putting down.
No,
Yeah.
it's okay. And like it's even okay for black men to do it in the business. Kane
That's an
Brown did a
excellent
song.
point.
Yeah, Kane Brown did a song with her. Mind you, he's biracial, but still.
Yeah. So am
Jimmy
I. But
Allen
you know what? Nobody's
before.
ever looked at me as anything but black. I'll tell you that.
Right. Right. And Jimmy Allen before, his legal troubles,
Yeah.
was
He
doing
was
collabs with everybody.
yeah, he was
And he had a
he was
song with
he was
J-Lo.
about to blow up, I might say.
Yeah, he was that's
I
a
know.
horrible story. But
It is.
anyway, it's fine for them. It's fine for Darius. It's fine for everybody. Let a black woman try it, and now we have problems.
I'm going to tell you what, this parallels so much as a top administrator, right, in the education system. Same thing. Same thing.
Well, just look at what just happened, regardless of how you feel about Kamala Harris.
Yes. Right? Exactly. So listen, I, I'm going to talk about authenticity in country music because this kind of lends itself to that, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It's built around telling honest stories. I would
Mm-hmm.
like to think that all music does, but I feel like being even newer myself to really loving and diving into country music, like there really is a draw to storytelling,
Absolutely.
almost more than a lot of other genres.
It's
Um,
one of the last places you can do that.
it really is.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the industry sometimes encourages artists to fit a certain mold.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how have you stayed true to yourself while navigating that tension?
Um, I think by being outside of the industry, I'm able to do a lot of things
Yeah.
that someone within the system may not be able to. Um, so, you give up having like money and power and like all these kind of things behind you, but you also keep your artistic integrity and your point of
Yeah.
view. I just, I'm older. than a lot of the newer
Girl,
artists.
you preaching to the
I'm
choir.
44, and I
53.
mean, I don't feel old, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, in terms of being a recording artist, a commercial recording artist, I'm like ancient. And and I've done this. I've done it. I've had the record deal. I've done
Yeah.
the morning shows and all the major things. And so I have the luxury of being able to say, no, I'm good. I'm going to do it this way.
Yeah. That's actually a beautiful place to be.
It is. It's lovely to be in, like, when you don't care. Like, it's not that I don't care. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me clarify. I don't care what the industry thinks.
Right.
I care about what people that listen to my music, my audience,
Yeah.
my friends, my family, that sort of thing, the people that I'm responsible to. I care about them.
Hmm.
I don't really care about following trends, or if, um, Nashville music critics or whatever think that it's country or not. Like, the authenticity test is a hot mess because a
Yeah.
lot of your biggest stars aren't even from the United States.
Right.
They're not
Yes.
even, I mean, whatever. And so,
I'm
so much
interviewing a
for this.
Canadian artist next week, a Canadian country music artist
Yeah.
next week, right?
And
So,
so it's subjective, and it's
yeah,
also about your state of mind. It's also about your level of musicianship and your talent and like that sort of thing. And I just, in trying to make it about anything else is silly. Like,
yeah.
how many country singers really are baling hay in the morning? Or, like, you
That's
know
a
what I'm saying?
great
Or
point.
like gathering eggs or anything like that. How many of them are actually, like, the big ones are actually from the South? And that sort of thing. And so, like, you're not gonna tell me what I know and what I grew up with and what my
Yes.
experience is. So, like, I really need you to go somewhere with all that. Like, really.
Exactly. So, what advice would you give to a young artist struggling with that? Because
I
you said it. You've been in this for a while. You're older.
Yeah.
I'm older. I'm old. So older, wiser, maybe experience, but someone who's struggling with that today, it'd be nice to see them get to that sooner, right?
I agree. I mean, the advice that I give younger artists is like, there's no rules anymore. The internet, streaming, social media has changed the playing field.
Totally.
And so you can go directly to the audience. So, with that being said, and with that in mind, why would you try to fit within a box of something that has been designed specifically to keep you out?
Mm,
Why would you try to fit that? Rather, what you should do is focus on making the best art that you possibly can. Listen to your competitors. Don't copy your competitors, but listen to them, just so you're staying on top of what's going on. And then
hmm.
you go completely this way and do it your way, and take it to the consumer.
Yeah.
Take it straight
So
to the consumer.
it's interesting. I was talking to a few weeks ago. I was talking to Drew Green, and he's a songwriter. He was a songwriter first, and he loves songwriting. Like he would rather write music than do anything
Mhm.
else. And I love that
I
about
think a
him.
lot of us feel that
Yeah, like
way. Yeah.
he likes performing, but he'd rather just write songs. But he feels so annoyed because there's so much today in country music, in music in general, that relies
Mhm.
on social media. And
100%. We're influencers now.
well, I mean, wasn't it the Red Clay Strays who just won? Was it a Grammy they won? And they really don't get any radio time. They get it now, but they really
Right.
went into that without much radio time. So let's talk a little bit more about representation, because diversity is something everybody should do, right? I see my air quotes. Um, from your perspective, what has diversity? So I'm thinking about what you said earlier. Like we've got all these crazy collabs, all these different genres coming together and mixing together. How do you think that has added to country music?
I think that it has changed the way we think about country music. I think that,
Well, for now,
yeah, for now.
if we talk about right
I mean,
cycles.
again, all things are cyclical, right? And so,
Mm-hmm.
like, this same conversation happened when they brought electric instrumentation into country music. That wasn't real country music.
Right.
Um, the countrypolitan sound, like Patsy Cline and all that sort of thing. That wasn't considered country music. That was too much. And the sound of country music in the 70s, which decidedly took a more sleek approach, wasn't considered country music. And then Garth Brooks, oh my God, he ruined country music according to certain people. And the 90s, when Shania and Faith and Trisha and Leanne Rhymes and all these artists were big, they ruined country music because that wasn't country. That's
Oh yeah,
pop.
but now,
That's
but
not
now the big ad, the big marketing thing is take me back to '90s country, right?
right. I'm like, you want to go back to the country music that everybody said wasn't country music? Okay. But yeah, we reference all these times because all these cool, interesting, innovative things happened. I'm not poo-pooing traditional country because I love traditional country
Yeah.
music. I think it's amazing. I think there's room for all of it.
Yes.
Any genre that is not growing and expanding and including and bringing in is dying.
Yeah.
Anything, I mean, that's people. Like if you're not continuously growing and evolving and taking in your environment and new information and new knowledge, you're dying. You're stagnating. And so I think it's just funny to me. But it again, country music mirrors the greater culture.
Yeah.
And so you hear all these people, oh, I don't want this in my school. I don't want this on my television. I don't want this. I don't want this. And it's like, so you want to stay the same and die.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't want to
Basically.
grow. You don't want to expand. You don't want to understand or anything like that. You just want it the way you want it, the way it's always been. And that's fine.
Yeah.
You just know that you are not growing and you're not evolving.
Thank you. So I love that. As I've across the past, especially year, I've interviewed many artists and a lot of young artists, and they're excited because they say country's cool, like country's
Mhm.
cool again or cool now, whatever. There's even a song, country's cool again, right?
Every 10
But
years.
yeah, every 10 years. But I mean, I never, there are things that I've been exposed to through country music that necessarily aren't even country music. So I went to the inaugural Catbird Music Festival in Bethel Woods, New York, and they only did it one
Okay.
year. And I'm so sad that they only did it one year. I saw Tyler Childers perform for the first time and I wept like a baby
He's
because I just
amazing.
love
He's
Tyler
so
Childers.
good. He's so
Oh my,
good.
he's so good. Yes. And he performed with, oh gosh, Allison Russell. I didn't know who Allison Russell was. That's a damn shame. I know who she is now, but one of the most powerful experiences that I've ever experienced was seeing them perform together. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So I
I
think the
mean,
diversity in country music introduces folks to something they may never have experienced or seen or heard or felt before.
absolutely. Well, and that's the importance of mentorship and bringing people along.
Yes.
We talked about it earlier as far as the show is concerned, but like you mentioned, Tyler Childers, who I think is brilliant. He's one of the innovators
Oh,
that is
yes.
ironically not being played on country radio. But
Nuts.
he's
It's
very much
bananas.
loved in Americana and like that sort of thing. Eric Church is another person. Eric Church, faithfully, when he was on the award ceremonies, he brought Rhiannon Giddens one year and he brought Valerie June another year. And like these are exquisite talents.
Yes.
Zach Bryan brought War and Treaty to the forefront in country music. They were already, on a forward trajectory, but him bringing them onto his
Yeah, that's
song
huge.
and having a number one and having it go platinum and having it be played on country radio opened up a lot of opportunities and
Oh,
doors. And
yeah.
so, Chris Stapleton taking Madeline Edwards and Brittany Spencer out on the road, that's a big deal. That moves
Mhm.
the needle. That brings artists to the audience attention that they've never seen before. And
Yeah.
so it's extremely important
Yeah.
for people to reach back and you can change someone's life.
Yeah, and you know what? I think I listen, I don't know personally any of those people that you just mentioned, but what appears to me is those things happened naturally,
Naturally.
naturally. So not because of they were chasing a trend or this is just who they are as people.
Yeah.
which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I saw Eric,
I mean, sometimes record labels put things together, of course, but
of
like,
course.
um, I mean, Cassius and Sierra Farrell. At the beginning of his career, he had Sierra Farrell, who is very hot and
Hmm.
actually a very nice person too. On top of
Yeah,
everything,
she's
I
pretty
just met
cool.
her; she's really very nice.
I haven't met her yet.
On top of being great, they did a song together, and that brought him to an audience that typically does not see him. So like these things change and move things. Like I was really happy to see Shabuzi is taking Angel White and Brittany Spencer out on the road. That's awesome.
Oh, I saw so really emotional seeing Shabuzi at Barefoot Country Music Festival about a month ago, and I was there with a friend, and I wouldn't say that we were nervous at how people would respond to him, but we were so impressed with how the crowd just really embraced him. First of all, he put on
That's
a
awesome.
great show, and he got emotional because he had sang a song, and a close friend of his had died the day before, and so he was emotional. He was in tears, and we were like in tears, but the pride that we felt, I'll dare say it, of the reception of the crowd towards him. And I would say the same thing about Boys to Men, who was a left turn at that
Oh
festival
yeah, yeah,
last
yeah, that's
year.
right. That was the same. Yes, and they came out with who was it?
Oh God,
It wasn't
they
Cody
headlined
Johnson. It was
before. I don't remember who the headliner was because
I
that
don't
was
remember
last
what.
year, not this year.
Yeah, yeah,
But
but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, oh, that was beautiful. Like, there were people like they're not country music. What are they doing at the Barefoot Country Music Festival? But the reception of the listen, a lot of us who go to these festivals are Gen Xers, and Gen Xers love some Boys to Men.
Right. That's
It was
right.
just beautiful. It was beautiful. But I have to ask this question. I know that you probably are pressed for time. I love having this conversation with you. I could talk
Oh,
to you all
thank you.
day.
No.
Um, 20 years from now, when someone discovers Rissi Palmer for the first time, what do you hope they take away? Not just from their music, but from the path that you helped create.
Um, I think the biggest thing is that I hope somebody will look at me the way that people looked at Frankie Staten
Oh,
and Dr. Cleve Francis. I was extremely inspired by the Black Country Music Association. And I know my compatriot, Holly G, who runs Black Opry, same thing. And I was inspired by their tenacity, by their belief in professionalism and artist development, and giving people the opportunity, making people ready for the moment
yeah.
when you do get the opportunity, which I think is like really important. And I just was really inspired by them. And they did it without the help of the system.
Yeah.
And they did it in spite of the system. And I love that. And so I hope that
Rissi, isn't
when
that
people,
you?
I mean, I
That's
listen,
you.
I walk in the footsteps of giants. And so I hope that people will look at Color Me Country and look at the work that I've tried to do from a really honest place, and they're inspired to do something because it's not done. And just because these organizations exist now is and that sort of thing doesn't mean that they'll be here forever.
Right.
And I just hope that I hope people keep fighting. That's what I
Yeah.
hope. Not
Yeah.
so much like, oh, Reese's amazing. I hope the takeaway is I could do that too. Like there's nothing
Yeah.
special or anointed about me that can't be duplicated from someone else. You just have to have the passion for it.
Yeah. Well, I think Rissi is amazing. And I think because you've worked so hard to get to where you are, you're at a place where I want people to see that they can do it too, right? So
Yeah, I
there's like
do.
there's an involvement, I think, of people professionally or as artists. Like, of course, you want to get to a place where people know who you are and people know your music, and you are, for lack of better words, popular. But then you get to a place where maybe you don't care
Yeah,
and you can just help bring other people along, which is what I see, right? Like that's so powerful, and that's more rewarding than the other, right? More rewarding than what you talked about earlier, power and money. It really
yeah.
is. Because at the end of the day, you
It
can feel
really
good
is.
about that.
And you know, that's hard. That's a hard thing to say
It
in an
is.
extremely capitalistic society that we live in, but it's true. It's
Well,
true.
listen,
I sleep
everybody
well.
wants a little money.
I mean, yes, listen, I got paid for all this stuff. But I at the same time, I sleep really well at
Yeah,
night. And so that's peace
there's
of
a lot to
mind
be said for that.
is priceless.
Yeah. One last question before we go. Younger version of yourself arriving in Nashville. You're sitting across from her. What do you think she would be most proud of?
Um, that's a great question. I think she would be most proud that she's been able to do it for over 20 plus years. And that's it. I don't, other than the radio show, I've never, since I have embarked on this journey, I've only had to have a regular job like twice. And I've been
That's a
able
beautiful
to,
thing.
the rest of the time, to really, yeah, to really, literally make a living from my music and my art. And that's not easy. And
No.
that's not, I don't, I don't take that for granted. Like
Yeah,
that's extremely blessed. So
that is blessed.
yeah, so I think she would be most impressed with that.
That's amazing. I thank you so much for taking the time. You should know that you have inspired me. So I've been doing the 9 to 5 for 30 years, and this is my passion project, meeting people and talking about music and writing about it. And I'm gonna, I'll be retiring in 800 and some odd days, and I'll get to do this full time
That'd be
just as a
great.
passion project, and I
Yes.
can't wait. And I'm doing it now, but I'll get to really just focus on that and
Yeah,
not have
just
to worry
focus.
about
Just
paying
be.
bills and everything. But I don't know. Thank you for taking the time and for being so inspirational and for pulling people along. It's so important.
Oh, thank you. No, I appreciate it. This was fun. Great questions. Like
Oh,
really.
thank you.
This was good.
Well, until next time. And I hope I get to see you perform live. That's my next thing. So
Where are you?
I'm in upstate New York in the
You're
beautiful
in
Catskill
upstate.
Mountains.
I was supposed to play upstate like 2 years ago, and I ended up it was Catawba, I think.
Oh, I don't
Does
even know
that
where
sound
that is.
familiar?
It doesn't, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's
New York is
upstate.
very big.
Yeah, and the flight got canceled and it was 4th of July weekend and we weren't going to be able to get a car or anything. And
In
so we
time,
ended
yeah.
up just having to cancel our appearance, period.
I'll come see you, boo.
Oh, no. Well, I appreciate that. And I'm trying to think when I'm back in New York again.
You
I,
play a lot in North Carolina
well, we'll be in actually, I'm playing Joe's Pub 2 days after my birthday on the 21st.
of this month.
It's for a social justice protest song
You
concert.
had me at social justice.
Yeah, it's myself, an artist by the name of Chris Matthews, another artist by the name of Karina Daza, and I think there'll be other artists too. But yeah, we're
Oh,
all
I'll look into that.
performing. Hmm.
Okay.
It's on my website.
I will look into that. I think
Yeah,
maybe I did see that you were playing somewhere locally. So awesome.
yes. Well, you take care, and it's
Thank
nice
you.
meeting
You
you.
too. Thank you so much for taking the time. I so appreciate it. I'm gonna tell Sarah
Thank you.
hello. We have that common friend, Sarah.
Yes.
Take care, Reese.
Bye.
Bye.